Okay, what's up, everybody out there? How's it going? Check it out, right? My Libras have been going through some things. A couple have reached out to me, as a matter of fact, and I'm going to get right into it. Before I even know the details, because I didn't even get the details of what's really going on, I'm going to call this, Libra Darkside, and I'm going to explain in the details why. There is Venus, the planet Venus has just left the house of Libra, the sign of Libra rather, right? And for Libras in the current state, that would be your first house. So, that deals with your harmony, how you interact with others, how you interact with attraction levels and wealth and things of that nature, right? So with this leaving, you got to understand, first of all, with this leaving, this is the gleeful part of your astrological chart, right? Because it deals with Venus. Venus is all love, the things that love and that you love and the things that matter to you. So this is not only leaving your first house that in the current state. This is also leaving the house that it rules, because planet Venus rules over the house of Libra, right? So there can be a little bit of agitation because of that, for starters. Now, what also happens is Venus has moved into the planet of the house of Scorpio, right? The sign of Scorpio, and Mars, mind you, is in the house of Libra. So even though Venus has left already, there may have been some friction of Mars and Venus being so close together priorly, because Mars has that energy and that drive, which is inside of your first house. So it's pushing you. You're feeling eager right now to do something as far as creation is concerned, because that's your first house, Libra. So you really were dealing with, or still are dealing with, the relationship with yourself physically, all right, because Mars is in the sign of Libra. So, your ruling planet has left. It's moved into Scorpio, which has a more deeper, dark sense of introspect going on. So what's going to happen with Venus moving here is you're going to want to know the ins and outs. You're going to want to know the details. You're going to want to investigate this feeling that you're feeling internally with your first house, which is Libra. All right, so there's a psychoanalysis effect going on with the whole Scorpio sign thing going on, and I wouldn't fret too much. And this is why this is being brought to my attention, because the Libras want to investigate these matters. All right, so that's a sure sign of you right there that it's due to Venus entering the sign of Scorpio. Now, do not fret. Do not think that this is something that is bad or should not happen. When things enter Scorpio, see, because Pluto is not going to play around with you. All right, Pluto is going to want change. So that Plutonian energy is going to nudge at you and say, listen, this is a transformation happening. Pay attention. I want to show you something, but you have to be willing to go inside of yourself and figure out exactly what it is and heal from it. Because if you don't heal from it, there's not going to be any transformation happening. All right, so if you don't particularly love to investigate things, this is a good time for Libras to start doing so. But from the Libras that I know, they are always looking for ways to make things balanced, right? So I don't see them having any problem with this. I think the agitation comes from Mars still being in your first house. So what does this mean, right? On a deeper level. Okay, Venus enters your current second house, right? Because Libra is your first house and Scorpio is your current second house, right? So what does the second house deal with? The second house deals with personal finances. Okay, so what you want to do first is you want to look back into your first house, which is Libra, and Mars is there. What are you doing with your personal finances that is causing some type of friction or some type of how should I say it, even motivation, some type of drive? It may be pushing you to use your personal finances for something. However, with Venus moving into your second house, you may not be exactly sure how to go about doing that, okay? Because you're a Libra. So what happens is you actually want to look towards other people as far as relationships go when you're wanting to do this implementation, okay? It's not a self thing. However, Mars, the planet of self, creation, energy, drive, initiative, is inside of your first house, which it actually rules over as well, right? So this is where your internal turmoil is coming from. So I would say pump a brake on doing any implementations at the current time as far as taking action goes on your personal finances, because Mars is still in your first house. Okay, you may have a better shot at utilizing the Mars energy when it enters into the second house. So Mars is going to continue to be inside of the house, inside of the sign of Libra for about another month or so, I believe. Don't quote me on that, however, I believe so. Get in the comment box if I made a mistake. And, you know, use that Mars energy in your first house to create, to continue to build and construct on whatever the matter is that you want to make money from, because obviously there's something going on in your first house that you want to be prosperous from, that you want to gain money from, or personal finances from. And I can tell that even more because Venus has just left. So you're like, oh no, where are you going? I'm thinking about money. Don't go so fast. But what the beautiful thing about that is depending on who you converse with from this point forward will determine how you put that creation into application. You get what I'm saying? So what does this mean on the subsequent level? This means that depending on where, now we got to get natally, right? Because this is in the current state. However, for every Libra, it's not the same thing. You all Libras have different ascendant signs, right? So we got to get back to the natal chart to make sure you're still doing homework on your. Okay, so let's get natally now. Let's say you have an Aries ascendant. You have an Aries ascendant, then Mars is currently in your seventh house of business, of relationships, business and personal. If you have a Taurus ascendant, Mars is inside of your eighth house of other people's money, your partner's earning potential, taxes, things of that nature, okay? Loans, debts. If your ascendant is Gemini, Mars is inside of your ninth house of travel, higher education, perhaps divorce, okay? Things that are philosophical. If you have a Cancer ascendant, then Mars is inside of your 10th house, which deals with career, organization, structure, maybe restraint, some type of discipline, okay? If you have a Leo ascendant, then Mars is inside of your 11th house, which deals with your network. How is your networking going on, right? You want to be looking at this as far as your wishes and your dreams, making them come into fruition, because that is where the 11th house energy pertains to, right? Now, if you have a Virgo ascendant, right, then you want to be looking inside of the 12th house. Mars is inside of your 12th house, which deals with the self-renewal. How are you taking care of yourself? How are you dealing with the secrets in your life, confidential information? Are you keeping a lid on the things that you want to do, or are you keeping it at least under wraps to specific people instead of making that information public? If you have a, what am I up to now? I'm up to Libra. If you have a Libra ascendant, Mars is inside of your first house, right? So that deals with the self. How are you taking care of your physical health, right? Are you putting an energy and drive into yourself? Okay, or what creations are you doing on your own? Are you shifting it and deflecting it onto others? Because there may be some darkness coming from that. If you're trying to make a type of move that deals with other people, it should pertain to yourself. Let's say you have a Scorpio ascendant, then Mars is going to be inside of your second house that deals with personal finances. Okay, so you would want to be taking action of things that deal with your personal finances with Mars there. And for a Sagittarius ascendant, Mars would be inside of your third house dealing with communication. So How are you communicating with others, like taking action to communicate with others? Are you reaching out to people? And if it's not necessarily people, are you doing it on platforms that are available to you, such as social networking, even as far as picking up the phone to call someone? If you have a Capricorn ascendant, then Mars is inside of your fourth house, dealing with home, domestic affairs, right? Family. How are you interacting with your family members? This is not a solo thing, and there could be some dark or some friction coming from that because Mars is a solo energy, right? So it may be some conflict with the family members going on right now. It may be some conflict at home going on right now. Take a look into that, right? If you have a, Aquarius ascendant, then you want to look at Mars being inside of the fifth house, which deals with romance, leisure, speculative matters. How are you taking action in the stock market or something like that? Are you actually taking some time out to like go to the theater, or even if you're doing Netflix and chill, something to take a load off of your shoulders? Are you doing that? If you have a Pisces ascendant, then Mars is inside of your sixth house, which deals with the work environment and health. How are you taking action dealing with those things? Is the friction, or is there some type of darkness coming inside of turmoil inside of your working environment? Because it's possible you may have a personal drive and initiative going on with that Mars energy. However, you're inside of a work environment which consists of dealing with other people to make things happen. And this is not necessarily supposed to be a problem with Libra. However, Mars sometimes says, look, I know you like balance and dealing with other people and interacting and making friends, but right now is the time that you're on a solo mission. You got to get this point across, right? So, and that's how that goes from Aries all the way around to Pisces. So these are the things. Remember, Venus, your ruling planet Libra, is inside of the sign of Scorpio, which gives you a great opportunity to do the psychoanalysis of yourself and how you want to implement these projects that deal with your personal finances. Remember that these finances are yours. They're your personal assets, okay? They're not a corporate group thing. These are yours. So, I don't know how you feel about your money. I know when it comes to my money, I'm more, these days, I'm more cautious of how I expend it because, it gives yourself leverage when you're dealing with partners and networking, okay? And it shows how you can better connect with those people. And Libra is very important for you to connect with people. So take this time to look inside yourself, do the psychoanalysis, transform, look for transformation, look for healing. And also, it's okay to keep a secret from other people right now. Okay, it's not necessary that you make this thing a public matter. It's not necessary that you make this thing a spectacle, because remember, this is in the sign, you got Venus in the sign of Scorpio. You should be embracing some type of secret. It's not such as intense as the 12th house secrets would be. However, these are the secrets that you know of, that are personal, that you keep to yourself. Unlike the 12th house secrets, which are the things that you have to research and find out about because you don't know about them yet. All right, so make that comparison and get ready to be comfortable. And like I said, if you keep it under wraps within people who you hold close or hold dear, but moreover to yourself, do some self-reflection, because Mars is in your first personal house. That'd be great. Even if you need to journal or write down some notes, that'd be a great, helpful exercise for you. All right, so Libras, I hope this helps. If I missed anything or if I confused you in any way, get in the comment box and let me know. I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as possible.